Hello everybody, so this was going to be the second vlog of Garbaugust, and I did put it up actually, so the keen-eyed amongst you might have seen it. It was up for a little while, 10 people saw it. I took it off because I noticed there was a problem with the video that I couldn't fix. I tried fixing it, couldn't fix it, and it was doing my head in, so I'm doing it again. So this isn't a vlog, so there was bits where I was on a train, there was a bit when I was in the middle of a field, and it kind of made more sense because I'm going to talk about Garbaugust, but there's a couple of interruptions where I talk about something else, which in a normal video, I just wait and do it for a monthly wrap up rather than a Garbaugust video. But because it was a vlog and it was like, this is what I'm reading today, then that's why there was something in there that wasn't Garbaugust. But that's all right. I will just talk about the books I talked about in the video and live with the fact that it's not a vlog. It's fine. It's fine. So, bouncing off from the last vlog, I ended by saying that I was going to look at this, I think, Inside the Laugh-In. So I bought this in Wales, Cardiff, when I saw Billy Joel. And I thought it was a really good find. I thought it was a really interesting find. Roland Martin's Laugh-In. I like these kind of behind-the-scenes books. But actually, I was a bit disappointed. I thought it was full of anecdotes that weren't very interesting, full of quite dry text that wasn't particularly funny as well. So yeah, a bit disappointed with that one. It was an interesting find. It's unusual, but yeah, didn't really enjoy it as a read. After I read that, I actually nipped into this book for a minute because I've been meaning to read this, and I was on a train. I thought I'd read this story, The Nose. So this is Diary of a Madman and Other Stories, but I wanted to read The Nose first. And The Nose is a short story written in the 19th century, 1840 something, 1846, I think, something like that. 1836. So yeah, The Nose came out in 1836. And normally when a book is that old, it doesn't grab me as much. It's more of an academic exercise rather than something that gets me going. But I really, really liked it. I really liked it. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of that story. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of this book. Diary of a Madman is obviously the titular story and very famous. So I'm probably going to read that one next out of this book. But yeah, The Nose by Gogol is very funny. It's satirical. It's got a great attitude, I think. But yeah, it's not particularly long as well. So if you're curious, definitely read The Nose from 1836 by Russian writer Gogol. And then, anyway, I went back to Garbaugust and I read Dark Star, Annalene Foster's novelisation of the John Carpenter film Dark Star. The John Carpenter film is an indie classic. It's a cult classic. It's an odd one. It's not got a very big budget, which is part of the charm of the film. And there's an amazing set piece in the middle of the film, which is done so brilliantly in the book, where Pinhead, one of the astronauts on the ship, has to deal with an alien, but it's pretty much just a beach ball with feet. It's a brilliant scene. It's a long scene, a long scene, and it's a great moment in this book. But the thing with this book, which I tried to convey in the vlog, is this is a brilliant book. I really loved it. It was the best novelisation I've ever read, but also I think one of the best books I've read for a while. And it's got such great descriptions. It's got characters that really, really jump out the page. There's not a lot of characters. There's 5 main astronauts that are on this ship, and there's a dead captain who is actually a relevant character in the story. So essentially there's 6 characters, but all 6 are really fully fleshed out. And the situation is kind of charismatic as well, but there's also this brilliant realization of a bored and cynical and resentful crew that don't like each other, but it's not bogged down with negativity. It's got such a brilliant wit about it. So yeah, I mean, just the way it's written is just brilliant. So Alan Dean Foster proves what a great writer he is by writing a novelization that goes way above your expectations, thinking it's just going to be a painted by numbers. Oh, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. Much more than that. So yeah, really, really good, really good. Can't stress that enough. I was loving it. I was turning the pages, really enjoying it. So Dark Star by Andy Foster. So glad I found this. So there's that. And then I read one more for Garbaugust, which and by the time I'd read this one, I thought I'd done quite well for Garbaugust this month. I'd read some good examples of what Garbaugust is about and had a couple of really good successes, and then I decided to do something else. So this last one is Swiftopia by Ryan Starbloke. I think it's a pseudonym. He's a local author in New Orleans. I bought this in New Orleans when I was there, and he had loads of books, and they all had different authors as the name of the author who wrote it. So he clearly uses lots of pseudonyms. So I don't know which one is his real name. But anyway, Swiftopia is great Garbaugust fodder because it's all about Taylor Swift and the fact that her music at this point in the future has managed to capture this beat that is so hypnotic that it turns her fans into mindless zombies. And there's a group of people trying to rally against it and trying to basically destroy the Swifties, which are these zombies. So sounds like a bit of fun. Sounds like a frivolous book with a Taylor Swift parody within it. But what I tried to say in the vlog, and I'll try and repeat what I said in the vlog, probably not as long a section in this video, but it's a really strange target to make because Ryan Starbloke keeps referencing what he thinks about the music industry. He thinks it's really uninventive. It's full of mechanical, industry-led, commercial crap. That's the point of what he's trying to make. And the thing is, if he wants to really pick a manufactured pop artist, Taylor Swift is not a manufactured pop artist. She writes her own stuff. She plays her own instruments. She writes very personal lyrics that she absolutely believes in. That's not about selling units, but it's about her giving off her feelings. And some of the lyrics are very clever as well. It's a really strange target. It's like he hasn't really looked into Taylor Swift, although he says at the back when he addresses Taylor Swift fans, he says he's listened to loads of her songs. So at what point did he absolutely not realise that she was a genuine singer-songwriter? Very strange. And there's a moment in the book where Katy Perry, spoilers, Katy Perry he makes some reference to Taylor Swift not knowing what the relative minor of D sharp is, what the relative minor of the key D sharp is, and D sharp major. And that is a really strange thing to put in here because, for a start, I don't know if Katy Perry would know what the relative minor of D sharp major was, but also I'm sure Taylor Swift does. You know, if Taylor Swift plays guitar and writes loads of songs and has done for several years, I'm sure she knows what the relative minor of D sharp major is. So it's a really strange thing to put in here as a dig at Taylor Swift because it's probably something she does know. So she is a musician and she writes her songs genuinely through her artistry rather than, just the fact that she's very commercial and popular doesn't make her manufactured pop. There is stuff out there that is manufactured. There are artists out there that are absolutely image led and all the songs are written for them, and they would be better targets for what this book's trying to do. If you look at Taylor Swift's recent NPR Tiny Desk concert, she's playing acoustic instruments in that just by herself. She does it by herself and she plays acoustic guitar and piano. and you know, she proves in that video she's absolutely authentic as a singer-songwriter. So it's just a really strange target. But what doesn't make it so surprising as a target is that it seems to be pretty much an anti-feminist book. So there are lots of anti-woke kind of sentiment in the book. And I mean, to the point where there's a bit at the end where someone is brought in right at the end that doesn't really seem to be relevant to the rest of the plot. And it's this guy being accused of sexual assault. And then very quickly, the text says that the two women that accused him completely made it up. And it just seems strange. There seems to be no point in putting it in there, except if the author was trying to make another point about maybe the Me Too movement going too far or something. So again, it's another anti-feminist element to this book. So I think he chose Taylor Swift because he wanted to make some points against feminists, because Taylor Swift is a kind of a feminist. She does have feminist elements to what she does. And there are some lyrics of hers that have really captured the imagination of some feminists that I know, certainly. And she's a good force for that as well. So I think he picked her for that reason. He has clearly got a very passionate distaste for commercial pop, but it's the wrong target. I think it's there are better targets. So it's a very strange book. It's not particularly funny. It's not actually particularly dramatic either. There's the idea of loads of zombies and some sort of horror setup that's based around these people that were fans that were turned into zombies. That's not really fleshed out in this book anyway. So it's a strange book, and it seems to be that he wrote it mainly to make a point about commercial pop and feminism. So yeah. He says, I mean, I know he's trying to be satirical, but he's trying to make out that, or at least he says in here that Taylor Swift is so anti-men that she encourages her fans to kill the men they know, which is just ridiculous. So yeah, he would probably say it was a joke, but there seems to be this anti-feminist drive through it. So yeah, a bit of a shame, because I thought it just might be a bit of fun. But it ends up putting all that sort of, it seems to have a kind of a right-wing conservative kind of element to it, which wasn't great. So after that, I thought I felt this pressure to catch up on the Banned Books project. So I actually read 2 of the books I wanted to read for the Banned Books project, 24 BB. So shout out to MJ for that. So I've finally read the Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. And I've done a video just about this book, and it'll be coming on the channel soon. And spoilers, that's really good. It's a really good book. It's a YA book about the native experience on the reservations, and it's really, really good. So that was really nice addition to the month. And then the last thing I read before really this month closing, because we only got a couple of days left, and I'm so tired at the moment. I know I'm not going to get through another book, but I have reread Fahrenheit 451, and I've done a video for it as well. So that's coming on the channel in the next couple of weeks. And it was nice to reread it. I haven't read it for a long time, and it's a absolutely amazing book. Definitely deserves its reputation. But I talk about why and quite a lot about the book in this video that I do. So this is part of my Ray Bradbury deep dive, as well as the Banned Books project. So that was pretty cool getting to that as well. So I was really pleased to get to that. And September for me is about catching up a little bit with some of the books I wanted to read. I might have snuck in another hard case crime book as well, but we'll see. There's a couple of days left, and I am knackered because this week we've gone back to work. And if there's any teachers out there, when there's a gap, when you've had a holiday and you go back, it really knocks you for 6. So I'm sure that you can probably relate to that first week back is just weird. So every night this week I've come home and just literally fallen asleep, and I've just lost the evening. I can't do that tomorrow because it's our show. Is this thing on tomorrow? But there we are. That's my replacement of the vlog. So there's no footage of me on a train or in a field. But that's where I got to with Garbaugust. So shout out to Olly, all the other Garbaugust hosts that have been doing brilliant videos. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay curious.